What up, Laker family? It's your boy DTLF back with another post game recap. All right, the Lakers, they came out here and they laid an egg. Um, it, it's gotten to the point where this team just feels so comfortable. You know what I'm saying? What up, Tyra? What up, Jennifer? They get so comfortable knowing that they have talent to the point where they just lazy. Let them out here like they didn't even want to play today, if we're being honest. They lost it again in the first quarter. First quarter, we go down 16, and we're trying to battle back. We gave up 39 points in the first quarter. Again, the highest points we've given up in any quarter this game. So again, the starting lineup got to be messed with because this is ridiculous, right? 39 points in the first quarter is not acceptable, no matter what team you are. I don't care who you are. 39 points is an embarrassment. Seriously. And it's like, okay, we came off of such a high, playing with playing versus the Clippers, and all of a sudden, what a letdown. What it didn't even feel like we had a phenomenal game the last game. It was really freaking frustrating, fam, to watch. It was so frustrating that shout out to my co-host over there on PSF. We started talking about food, and I almost forgot how pissed I was until I didn't, and I saw exactly what I didn't want to see from the Lakers. Right, lack of daisical effort, lack of rebounding, uh, missing heart. Like when LeBron James is playing with the most heart, you have a problem. The officiating was horrible, but that didn't mean we had to come out here and play like this, right? Again, the Lakers think that they're a team that they could turn it on whenever they want. They're not. Okay, because first of all, we're not even complete right now. Giving up 39 points in the first quarter to a very young, wet between the ears Orlando Magic team. Granted, they're a lot better this season than they were last year. They're starting the season at 4-2, and they're the top-rated defensive team. I think I heard Jeff say in the league this year. So they're doing something right. I don't want to discredit them fully, but the Lakers just laid an egg, fam. Let's keep it a buck 50, right? First of all, we shot 26% from beyond the arc, 8 for 30. Recipe for disaster. When you're shooting like that, you got to stop shooting the damn basketball. Right from the field, we were only at 44%. We missed so many shots, even from layups. Even Jackson Hayes at the end blowing a layup right next to the rim. I don't get it. I don't get how these 8-footers can be blowing layups, right? Now, here's the disturbing part. We gave up 20 offensive fucking rebounds, 20 of them. 20 offensive rebounds, and we were overall out-rebounded by 12, right? Not only that, but then we compound the issue by turning the ball over 16 times. I told you guys 13 or less is always a mark. And we give up 60 points in the paint. So it was just a disaster from all angles. There was absolutely no sort of rhythm ever built within the course of this game. So it sucks, man. It sucks when you especially for me and Jeff that had to call the whole game. And it's like, if I was at home by myself, I would have been cursing out the TV, man. You know what I'm saying? But trying to keep it classy and trying to keep, trying to stay level-headed because it is early in the season. We already still are, even with all the injuries and everything, we have more wins this year than we had the first 12 games, or should I say 10 games last year, right? So I'm trying to look at the silver lining. The positives are that guys that were supposed to put up big numbers still put up big numbers. But these numbers, I was talking to Jeff and I tell him, listen, nowadays his numbers doesn't feel as impactful as back in the day. Why is that? Maybe because a lot of these numbers are watered down. And the way that the officials officiate games is the free throw shooting competition, right? AD had 28 points, 6 blocks or 7 blocks, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, and didn't really make a dent in this game in 32 minutes. LeBron James had 24, 9, and 5 and didn't really make a dent in this game in 35 minutes. Austin Reeves had 20 points, right? So that there's a silver lining is that he continues to be aggressive, but really didn't make a dent. Same thing with D'Angelo, who had 11, 4, and 4, no dent, right? So forget the numbers. Throw those out the window all the way. Throw this loss all the way out the window. And next game, I expect a change in the starting lineup, okay? Because every game, right? Five out of 6 games, we've come out slow. 5 out of 6 of them. So we're constantly laying an egg to start games, and we're losing games in the first quarter. 39 points is a recipe for disaster. You give up 39 points in any game, you're probably going to lose because now you got to expend all this extra energy to try to come back and make your push. And you risk injury as well. Here's another thing that I really dislike, right? Here's another thing is that we played our starters in the fourth quarter when we were down 20 plus. So I don't like that one bit at all. And I apologize to anybody, any Laker fans that was in Orlando watching the game. Y'all deserve your money back because the Lakers didn't show up today. You deserve a full refund. This is like going to a concert and watching the artist not perform because they don't want to. They just don't feel like it today, right? So this is what you guys got today, unfortunately. So, sorry, Jonathan. I know you was there, bro, but damn, that's tough. Oh, man. And how do you guys feel about it? What needs to improve? For me, I think we need to start that 2 big man lineup. I really do. Because I'll tell you, man, these big men, or should I say the people we have right now are giving up too many offensive second chance points. And as a result, because of this, we're losing momentum early in games, like super early. So, I'm just like, it was painful. I bet, Jonathan. You was there, bro. They come into your hometown. You think you're about to watch this show, especially after that Clipper game. What a letdown. Like, what a great Clipper game we played versus the Clippers, and then boom, we turn around. It's like we played down to the competition. We played with our food, and our food ate us. I got to give credit to Orlando because they looked hungry. They treated this like it was a playoff game. Lakers came out here like we were still in summer league. Like, we looked so sloppy. We couldn't even get into our half-court sets, right? We can't even set proper screens. Everything is called. I will say, I don't understand why these guys are playing so sloppy, like moving screens and stuff like that. But the officials as well, man. They did a shitty job of officiating this game. And it's like it gets to the point where you just lose all interest for the game because all you're seeing is free throws both ways. Boom, 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 boom. There's no natural flow to the game. There's no back and forth. They take the excitement out. And the NBA has to do a much better job of letting these players play. Because I promise you, nobody paid for their ticket in that arena. Not even Magic fans to watch the officials be the stars of the show. I promise you that, right? And what they do when they stop plays is you're preventing highlights from happening. You're preventing buckets from happening, crossovers. You're preventing high flying. You're preventing everything. So I don't care that we lost as much as I care that the officials were absolute ass cheeks, right? And we cannot allow that to happen. Like, as a basketball fan, that's just not acceptable, right? There's many times when I would look at LeBron and he's like, he wants to chew up the refs because they're not letting us play. But at the same time, Lakers have to play through that. We're too talented to let that get in our heads and to really, bow out of the game. But the first quarter is really why we lost. All right. This is becoming a horrible, bad habit where we have to kill it early because right now it's alive. Right. So let's see. I don't think Reddish starting helps us. Yeah, he's definitely not a starter, Tamika, but I'll tell you, he plays good defense. He's not a starter. For whatever reason, his collegiate offensive game didn't translate to the NBA yet. I don't know if it ever will. Defensively, he was great. But as a unit, the team just isn't there energy-wise tonight. I do wish, and we talked about this, that Coach Darvin Ham will pull him to the side and chew them out. That's what I do wish, because that's what I would have did. If I was the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, I would have said, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? Next person to not give me full effort and crash the glass is going to be sitting right next to me. And not only for this game, probably for the start of next game, just to send a message. There's a lot of times where I can see AD can grab a rebound and he just like bats it at himself instead of going up and snagging it and doing the Shaq Diesel, elbow swing. Like, we need big grown men down low. We don't need, these poor excuses, right? So that's all I'll say about that, man. Other than that, man, got to give credit to the Magic. They outran us. They ran us out of their building early on, and they made sure. And I had a feeling, you know what? With Prize Picks, I messed up because I should have went the opposite route. Because I said they're going to be motivated to get their get back because they got locked up last game, but I didn't go with my gut. So there was double losses tonight. So that's unfortunate. Man, it'll happen like that sometimes. Let's see here. Dan, I pray. I'm going to head over to the comment section because I vented. Now it's time for y'all to vent, ask your questions, and all that good stuff. Roy said, Dan, I pray this is not going to be another roller coaster season. Reeves is not the only one, but he is getting cooked on defense. He is. And again, he's being flat-footed. I'm happy to see him offensively in Spurs, but you're right. Defensively, he has to improve because his rookie season and his second year last year, he was not getting cooked. Matter of fact, he's one of our strong suits on a defensive end. He would take charges. He was getting to the right spots. He had active hands. He was getting rips. He seems a half step slow. Again, all season long, he seems a half step slow. Happy to see him getting going offensively, but he also needs to get his act together defensively now. My guy said, DTLF, why are we starting Reeves and D'Lo in the backcourt? They're the same type of players. Honestly, last year it worked out. They started and they were phenomenal last year. This year, for whatever reason, we're not getting consistency from both sides, especially Austin Reeves. D'Lo was great up until this game. He really wasn't knocking down anything. And that's the thing. We always talk about D'Lo, how great he is. He had back-to-back great games, and the third one was the charm. This is the one where he couldn't, right? So it's all about consistency with our backcourt. If they can learn to be more consistent, good. Otherwise, we're going to have to insert a big man instead, right? So I can see why you're saying they're the same player, but they're not. D'Lo's more of a playmaker shooter. Austin Reeves is more of a playmaker slasher, right, who can shoot. But still, regardless, they should be able to bounce off of each other. And defensively is where they're both getting cooked. Even D'Lo, man, he gets caught on the screen and he's cooked, right? He's done. He's not going to make the extra effort to fight through the screen. He's not that type of player, unfortunately. We didn't block out. We gave up too many second chance points. I know. It's disgusting to watch that we're losing games early on based off of fundamentals, but that just seems to be the case right now. Where was the rebounding for the Lakers? In Mars, because it wasn't on planet Earth. I promise you that. Overall, man, coaches got to do a better job of chewing these guys out because sometimes I feel like they go through the motions. I know it's a very long season, and it's hard for them to stay interested all year round, but they got up for the Clipper game. Why not get up for the Magic game? You know what I mean? And that's always, I feel like that's always been a problem with us is like we get up for certain games and we don't show up for others. And we didn't show up tonight at all. At all. And I thought it was going to be a first quarter problem. And it looked like we were going to make a run. We even got it to within 6 in the second quarter. But then here we go, right? Here they go making a run right off of a timeout. And Darvin refuses to make the adjustments. I agree. I just say don't hold your breath for a new head coach. I don't see a head coach getting fired, at least not this year. Especially after making to the Western Conference Finals. Can you imagine if he got fired after making it? Like, we got all this criticism of firing Frank Vogel after he helped us win the title in 2020. This was 2 years later after he stunk it up. Can you imagine if a coach helps us get to the Western Conference Finals and he gets subsequently fired the next year? And especially with all the injuries that are happening, we wouldn't hear the end of it from the media. So just don't hold your breath for this, guys, because it's not realistic, right? I wish it was, and I wish there was better options out there. But as of right now, there isn't. I don't even know if Mike Jackson wants to coach. Who knows? Please not Doc Rivers. Oh, no, God, no. I would get Cookie Monster-type nightmares if he ever became the Lakers coach. Black is good pick. He locked it up D'Lo. Yeah, I like Anthony Black. I loved him. I was hoping he slipped in the draft to us, but I was being delusional. I knew he was going to be a lottery pick. I like his size, good basketball IQ, pretty athletic for his size and quick. He's got a nice burst. Wingspan phenomenal, and again, great defensive instincts and offensive instincts. What do you think about Bron running the point like he did in 2020? I think it's good in spurts, but because he is getting a little bit older, they want to kind of distribute the ball handling responsibilities amongst different guards. I've seen Austin handle a little bit. I didn't see Reeves handle a little bit, right? So they're just trying to kind of distribute it and see where it goes from there. He says Scam does not have it in him to get in players' ass. He says Scam needs players to make him look good. Scam is not a good coach for this team. We've heard a lot of that early on. Let's hope he proves us wrong, but it's not looking good for him early. I agree. Now, granted, it's a better start than last year, so we do have to look at it objectively, as much as I'd hate to try to be an optimist in a 20-point blowout to a younger team than you. But let's look on the bright side. We are missing 4 key rotation pieces. It is another road loss, which we haven't won a road game yet. Hopefully that'll change on Monday. And we have tons of room for improvement. So those are the silver linings and the positives. I tend to look at the big picture. If this was a later in the season loss, I would have been irate. I would have been furious. I'm still not happy about this loss. Don't get me wrong, but I can accept the fact that we lost on the road, down 4 of our key rotational pieces, and the officiating was trash. Not making any excuses still, but I can accept that, right? I can accept it and say, okay, we got a lot of room for improvement. Now, again, if this was a February game, nah, bro, it wouldn't be a good look. I'd be saying, let's make some trades. This was a February game, right? The Lakers team playing like this won't be in the playoffs. They won't play like this always. I mean, did you see what they did to the Clippers? They won't play like this always. It's just right now the Lakers are struggling to find an identity, a consistency, right? When you have a new team, those 10 to 15 first games leading all the way into December are an identity crisis games. That means that you're going to have great games, you're going to have bad games. Right now the Lakers are struggling to find their identity. When they find it, whether it's a defensive team first, a three-point shooting team, a half-court sets team, a two-man pick and roll team, whatever it is, when they find it and we go to it more, we're going to be much better, right? But right now they're searching, and by God, they're searching, because you have one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game. He said, how on earth did we get blown out? I haven't seen the game. Who sold? Everybody did, man. Honestly, the energy wasn't there to start the game. And it was embarrassing. I was like, I tweeted it out during the first half. I said, embarrassing. By a younger team, we're getting outclassed and outmastered by a younger team. And that happens sometimes in the NBA. It gets to a point where a team has gotten so good and they've grown personally and individually that they have surpassed the sensei. It's bound to happen, right? The master will eventually get mastered, unfortunately, right? But this was not the case tonight. Tonight was just the Lakers laid an egg. But I'll give them credit because, like I said, they did improve. They're 4-2, and it's not we beat them once already. So where'd they get the other 3 wins from? Clearly, they're a much better team. Yeah, but those first quarters, we got to solve them. We got to come out with a much better starting lineup. If we don't do that, guys, then we will be in trouble. But again, that's on the coaching staff and the front office to figure that out. Now, somebody asked me some very interesting questions, guys. Somebody asked me some very interesting questions during the stream, during our live reaction stream on PSF app. And it was, who would I be interested in, via trade today? My answer was Marcus Smart, right? If we can get a defensive-minded point guard. But this has always been the balance between the Lakers, right? We get a guard who's very athletic and Russ, but he can't shoot. Now we get a guard who can shoot, but he's struggling to defend, right? I think Marcus Smart will be a balance between both. I think he's a capable shooter who's an elite defender and can set the tone with his actual defense. Marcus Smart would be what a lot of people thought they had in Patrick Beverley, but we'd actually get it from Marcus Smart, right? Because that was fool's gold for a lot of people. Not for me. I knew Patrick wouldn't work out. But I'll tell you, I would love to. If he becomes available at any point, they're 0-5, mind you. This is the only reason I'm mentioning it. Because sometimes players like him can become disgruntled and request out. I would love to trade for him. I love to trade for Marcus Smart. And what would I give up? I'd give up Max Christie and, something else, whatever they require. Because as much as I like Max Christie and the youth, they're always replenishable. The youth is always replenishable. What's not replenishable is a veteran leading defensive-minded guard. They're 0-6 now? Oh, yeah. That phone call's coming in real soon. If I'm Rob Pelinka around December, yeah. Now, I wouldn't give up AR for Marcus Smart, but I will give up Gabe Vincent when he becomes trade eligible. And I'd also give up, if necessary, Max Christie. Now, you might think, Dan, you're crazy. You're giving up way too much. I'm not. Marcus Smart has, I want to say championship experience, but pretty damn close. He's been to the finals. Marcus Smart is one of the elite guards in this league as far as defense goes, and offensively he holds his own. And can you imagine having an anchor defensively from the point guard position, even if it is to back up D'Lo? That would be insane. I'd love to have somebody like Marcus Smart, but it's still early, right? This is just, I thought it was an interesting question because I'm looking at teams that are struggling and who's going to become available, and I think a lot of people should circle Marcus Smart, right? Because that's a name that I think will be floating around in trade rumors come the trade deadline. Um, let's see here. Tough-minded player. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And again, it only came about because we really tried to find different topics of conversation from how horrible the game was. But that's the one thing that just sticks out like a nail, right? Like that's a player who can make a huge difference, and he's on a struggling team currently. So maybe there'll be some realism to that down the road. We'll see. He said D'Lo is not the guy to help us win, Dan. The only thing that concerns me about D'Angelo is his inconsistency. He had a phenomenal game last game. Phenomenal, right? The last two games, matter of fact. And boom, laid an egg tonight, right? So it's like we can't get both AR and D'Lo on the same page. Once we get them both going, they'll be right. They'll be great. But we haven't got them both going yet. Would I trade for Donovan Mitchell? That was the other name I mentioned. That was the other name, him and Josh Hart. The other name I mentioned was Donovan Mitchell. I would throw a lot at Donovan Mitchell, but I think he would have to request a trade for that to happen. Cleveland's not going to trade him unless he requests a trade. But I do believe I don't know when he's a free agent. I haven't looked at the contract situation. The next year or the year after that. But yeah, so that could make everything, for very interesting things. Again, if the Lakers don't solve this guard issue where our guards are getting cooked, look to the trade rumor mill for a lot of these, players that could potentially become available. So I don't like it because I like our players. I like D'Angelo. I want him to thrive here. I mean, we have short shirts on Court Kings with D'Lo on there and stuff like that. So obviously we are fans, but we are always fans of the Lakers, man. The name on the front of the jersey first. And so if they're not going to be consistent, then nothing is off the table. Dub G says, trade D'Lo for a sniper. Bron at the point, 40+ minutes a night. Sorry, Bron. Yeah, that's also something we don't want. We don't want a one-trick pony, right? A sniper would be solid, but unless he can hold his own and ball handle and play defense as well, I don't want him. Johnny says, I think the Magic will be a playoff team along with the Pacers. They show a lot of promise, but usually with young teams, they start off hot and they flame out somewhere around December. Right, we saw this happen with the Utah Jazz last year, where they started off hot. They were one of the top teams in the conference. I never put too much emphasis because eventually things start evening out. Right, the rifle teams start rising, and the surprise teams start slipping. Right, so that's what happened last year. The Knicks started off hot, the Jazz started off hot, and eventually things got back into place. DTLF, at what point would you start thinking about trades based on our record? I would say if we get our full team back and we're still not gelling and not firing on all cylinders, then yes, right? So I'd say at some time during mid-December, if we are not where we need to be, which is 7 to 8 games over 500, then I would start thinking about trades, Good questions tonight, guys. Good questions tonight. I love it when you guys, make these chats entertaining because, man, that was a shitty game. Dan, long-term, who would be ideal replacement for LeBron? We had this conversation last night on Around the League. So if you guys are interested in more, then check that out. But just to answer this really quick, I would love Luka. I'm not going to say Tatum because he pissed me off with that Kobe in a Celtic uniform. But, I mean, I would be forgiven if he came here. De'Aaron Fox would be great. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of my favorite young players. Man, any of those guys would be awesome. But it's still too early to really officially have that conversation because we don't know how much longer LeBron's going to go for. But I just say watch out for 2026. Or is it? Yeah, 2026. Let's see. Coaching on the offensive side is always questionable since after the bubble, either Darvin got to go or the team hires an offensive assistant. I agree. We do need an offensive assistant. Absolutely. By the Lakers telling D'Lo to waive his no-trade clause, feel if the right deal comes along, it'll happen. You're right. I think he has one of the most tradable contracts. And remember, I said it preseason, Tara. I said, well, watch out for D'Lo because if he's inconsistent, anything's possible. He becomes one of the more tradable contracts in this league, right? But also, other guys aren't safe either. Like, if they're inconsistent, they're not safe either. So anything can happen. I know LeBron and AD want to win bad, and so do Laker fans. So nothing's off the table for the right piece. Let's just say, I know this is a name not a lot of people like, Zach LaVine. Or let's just say somebody like that, Donovan Mitchell, a big star name becomes available, the Lakers will definitely get involved. And everybody becomes tradable at that point. from Max Christie to my favorite Austin Reeves to Rui Hachimura. Like they all become tradable because let's be honest, they're all good players. They're all great. Even some have potential to be great players, but they haven't reached that potential yet. If the Lakers can get a surefire bet like a Donovan Mitchell or a Kyrie Irving, which I don't think Kyrie Irving will be attainable due to the fact that Shark Tank Mark Cuban is an asshole. But if those players became available, the Lakers will always be involved. All right, because no matter how much we like our depth, this is a star-driven town, right? Let's not forget that, right? But I still love our team. I still think this is a good team, a really good team. We're incomplete right now. We just are, and that's not an excuse for the lackadaisical effort we gave. We gave piss poor effort tonight, and this shit was so fucking trash that I'm sleepy right now. That's how trash the game was. I hate games like that because I'm always excited for Laker games, but who wants to see a free throw shooting competition, right? Dan, I'm thinking to myself, I would be excited to have Marcus Smart on the Lakers. Yes, I would love that player. I've been a fan of him since he played for OSU, I believe it was. And he had some college situations happen off the court and on the court, but he's always played with a lot of passion, and he's very good defensively. December 15th is when you can trade players you signed this summer. Yep, it is, Craig. So watch out for that date for sure. But again, it's still too early. I don't want to think about trades right now. To be honest with you, I want to think of how this team can improve and get better and continue to build on what we have because that's more realistic, right? The only way we're thinking about trades is this continues on to December. Then realistically, you have to think about trades. But let's just hope we can solve the rebounding issue, the slow starts in the first quarters issue. What else? Transition defense and pick and roll defense. We got a lot to work on. And we're already 3-3 like that. So that is a silver lining is that we're winning games when we still have plenty to work on. And we're going to get better in every single category I just mentioned. But how much better is the question, right? That is the only question we have. Because, again, the stats are there. AD put up 28, 13, and 7, right? Blocks, that is, with 3 assists. LeBron James, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. The stats are there, but the impact is not. And we got to make those stats timely and impactful stats for that to be able to work out. Dan, your thoughts on DeRozan or LaVine? I like DeRozan throughout the career. He's the Compton kid. I've always loved him. LaVine, I've always been a fan since UCLA days. I wanted the Lakers to draft him, but I think that's when we went with Julius, I believe. Right? If I'm not mistaken, I think he got drafted 1 before us. If I have to pick between two, I know a lot of people don't like Zach LaVine's contract and his injury history, but I take a gamble with him. I would pick him up. I do. It's just if Zach LaVine can be efficient, what D'Angelo is not from the scoring position, and stay aggressive and takes a lot of pressure off of LeBron and AD. We've been talking about taking pressure off of LeBron and AD, but let's be honest. Nobody has done that efficiently enough other than Austin Reeves last year and the year before that, right? D'Angelo's supposed to be that, so hopefully he can be that. But if he's not, you're really going to have to start questioning who can be that, right? So, the last thing we want is these guys getting hurt because then our season is over, right? But yeah, look, DeRozan, the only reason I don't want him, and don't get me wrong, I'll take him if it's like for free or he gets bought out or something crazy. Hell yeah. But I don't want to give up too much for him because one, he's old as shit, man. We always add older stars to the Lakers and then they're kind of over the hill, just like Steve Nash, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want that no more. Antoine Jameson is another one that comes to mind. Gary Payton, Karl Malone. Like, we should be getting guys that are still in their prime that can go with the AD timeline, right? And LeBron timeline. Not guys that are going to come in here, play a good 25 games, and then get injured somewhere in between the playoffs, and then we wish we never made the trade, right? We don't want that. So hopefully if we do make a trade, it's for younger guys. I'm talking 30 and down, right? I don't want to go too far over 30. If it's over 30, it better be for a star like Damian Lillard, right? But obviously, just as an example, he's not getting traded anywhere. I know sci-fi. I feel you, bro. I feel you on it. But look, again, hopefully Austin Reeves is starting to turn up. He now has back-to-back 15-plus point games. This one was a 20-point game. LeBron and AD did their thing. Nobody else stepped up other than that. So that's why we barely got to 100, and they got to 120. But I'll be honest. And this league, I'm not impressed by 120. Yeah, we shouldn't have gave it up to Orlando either way, but have you seen the type of calls these teams get nowadays? Teams are getting to 130, 140 nowadays. You would never see that other than the All-Star game. It's a different brand of basketball that's being played out here. It's a free throw shooting contest. It's a three-point shooting contest. Very few brains being used in between. So that's tough, right? Yeah, we're all pissed about today. I'm right there with you, Mom. But it sucks. But what can we do? But throw it away in the garbage can. Hope the Rams win tomorrow. Oh, you like how I stuck that in there, huh? And then on Monday, we got another Laker game. So hopefully by then we'll be straight. But that's gonna wrap it up for me, y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Major shout out to Prize Picks. Major shout out to Court Kings. Y'all know where to get the fire merch at, man. ShopCourtKings.com. Thanks to my co-host Jeff, man. Go over there and rate his channel right after this if y'all want to hear more Lakers basketball talk. He's got y'all covered and over there on Empire Jeff TV. And I will see you guys real soon. All right. Good luck to everybody, football teams except Cowboys. And I will see y'all on the next one on Monday, most likely, unless something breaks. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Peace.